Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Oh, it's over here. Hey, switch that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Alex, could you do roll call for me, please?
Libby?
Here.
Ooh, it's loud. Sorry. Becky?
Here.
Tanya?
Here.
Robert? Here. Fritz?
Here. I declare we have a quorum. I get a motion to approve minutes on 10/17/2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. Thank you. Can I get a motion? I'm gonna move the Hancock County Club of Indiana Business Professional Women up first.
I'll make a motion to move the Hancock County Club of the Indiana Business and Professional Women to the first part of the agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. Okay, well, come on up and introduce yourself.
Very privileged to be the first person.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. My name's Carol Stevens, and I am here representing the Hancock County Business and Professional Women's Club, which is based in Fortville, but does not just mean that it includes people from Fortville, so anybody can be a member. This evening, we have asked that a proclamation be signed for the Indiana Business and Professional Women's Working Women's Recognition Month. November is that month, and we celebrate the accomplishments of working women. Working women are so amazing and need to be recognized. They bring businesses and professions to our community that help our town to grow and prosper. Out of their imaginations and talents come new and exciting ideas and efforts, oftentimes while being responsible for families at home. A few weeks ago, our Business and Professional Women's Club asked for nominations from the community for outstanding working women in our community based on qualities such as passion, generosity, commitment, optimism, dedication, and supportiveness. Out of those nominations, one woman stood out and has been selected to be the 2022 Outstanding Working Woman to be recognized. She will be presented her award at our Hancock County Business and Professional Women's Club meeting. She's ill at this time, so we're not going to announce who that person is until we are able to present that to her. But she's definitely a deserving person. So I really appreciate your attention to this matter. If you would help present that proclamation, we would appreciate it. Thank you for your time and allowing us to come to the meeting.
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and read this. Indiana Working Women's Month proclamation. Sorry about that. Whereas the month of November 2022 has been designated as Indiana Working Women's Recognition Month to honor all working women whose accomplishments give fitting recognition to their services to this community, and whereas no event could be more deserving of the support and participation of the community than one dedicated to these women who represent all phases of employment, and whereas inspiration, encouragement we give to develop qualities and character essential for more young women to enter into the workforce as a career are very important to the future of our city, state, and nation. Therefore, the town council of Fortville, Indiana, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2022 as Working Women's Recognition Month. Thank you. Okay, now let's move on to the council will hold a public hearing regarding
Confirmatory.
confirmatory resolution to allow tax abatements at 3253 West 1000 North.
Make a motion to recess the regular council meeting and open the regular public meeting.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
All right, good evening. For the record, I'm Adam Zakwakowski, the Planning and Billing Director for the town of Fortville. This item before you tonight, if you'll recall at a previous meeting, for a tax abatement for Debo Properties LLC at 3253 West 1000 North. We did what's called a declaratory resolution, and that passed. And the next step in the process, and the final step in the process, is approving this resolution, what's called a confirmatory resolution. So the straight answer on why we're doing this is in order to approve a tax abatement, the state law requires that this two-step procedure happen. Even within a TIF district, we still need to go through this process if the ERA, as it's called, has not been adopted for that property. So this has been done in the past for other properties. It's fairly routine. And the tax abatement that you all approved in concept in the past, nothing's changed with that. It would still be the typical 10-year tax abatement with a phase-out schedule that is within the document. So we are required to have a public hearing as you opened here tonight. The public hearing was posted in the newspaper as required by law. So certainly if you have any specific questions, I can try to address those for you. And Alex is also very familiar with the procedure. Thank you.
Council, you have any questions? Anybody from the public, any questions? Okay. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and reopen our regular council meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, council to consider adopting resolution number 2022-11A, a confirmatory resolution for the Debo Properties Tax Abatement.
This will be resolution 2022-11A.
11A, that's what I got down. I need somebody to make a motion.
Make a motion for approval of resolution number 2022-11A, a confirmatory resolution for Debo Properties Tax Abatement as presented.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Oppose?
Nay.
The ayes have it. Thank you. All right. Got that one done. Go move it on to next business council to consider ordinance amendment for the rates and changes to residential trash services due to new trash contract. Joe?
Yeah, I was just looking at my packet here and I don't think I brought a copy of that. I don't know if any of you guys have your copy that I had sent. If not, I may need to go get a copy of that just so we can discuss it. I'm looking at my emails here to see if I got it.
Can I get a motion? Or do we have any public do we have any comment first? Sorry. No, do we have any public comment on the trash contract?
Okay, no changes or anything,
But,
Joe?
well, the only change, the changes are, it's just the rates and charges that we're amending the ordinance for our new trash contract. The first year, the trash will go up, I believe it was $3.19. Is that what I sent out? And then every year after that, it has progressed, it goes up a little bit. I don't have those numbers in front of me. I don't have a copy of that ordinance. I need to go back and get it.
I'm looking for it.
This is,
Yeah.
Goes up 319, Joe.
What's that?
goes up 319.
Goes up $3.19. Yeah.
First year.
Yeah, it was, I want to say $2.85. This last one goes up $3.19. And then each year after that, it goes up. Yeah, it's not as much. It doesn't go up $3 a year.
Yeah, I've got the listing. Did you find it, Tanya? It's first year 1405, 1461 in 2024, 1520 in 2025, 1582 in 2026, and 1647 in 2027.
So that's looking out 5 years.
Increase in 5 years.
Just close to Tanya.
I'm sorry, I didn't pick it up.
Do you want the monthly totals?
Yeah.
2023 is 1405. Then 1461. 1520. 1582. 1647.
And if you want to vote on that this evening, that's ordinance number 2022-11A as well. It's ordinance.
I don't have any questions.
Is there any questions in the public? About the trash contract? Okay.
You just want to reiterate, Joe, that for the public, everything stays. They shouldn't see any changes.
Shouldn't see any change other
Other
than
than the
the,
cost.
other than the cost, yeah, from the contract. And while we're talking about that, it might be a good time to throw it out there that there was a letter and a postcard sent out
Yeah.
by accident from the trash company, saying that they were going to go to 2 days a week. They had since, after contacting them, had let us know that that was sent out by error. There were some other communities doing that. They were discussing doing that with Fortville, but never decided to do that. They haven't talked to us and they didn't pull the trigger, but somehow it got sent out. So trash as of right now stays the same day as your normal trash day. After the first of the year, they may consider doing multiple days. Forget it. Your trash day is not changing. Do that. We've, in fact, I was talking with CGS, well, it's Waste Management now. I was talking with them today and they had put out a draft that they want to send out to everybody. Right now is the trash, everybody's already sending their trash out, so by the time they get it out there, it's going to be too late. But I asked them to go ahead and send it out, and we have put that out there on our website and Facebook and trying to let people know the best we can, so. But if it's out today, that'll be there when they come to pick it up. So I didn't mean to interrupt your motion on that. I just thought while we were talking about trash.
I'll make a motion to approve the changes in the trash contract as presented. That would actually be, that would actually be ordinance 2022-11A.
Correct.
All in favor? Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, council to consider first reading of 2023 salary ordinance. Joe?
Me again. Okay, I think I've got that one here. The salary ordinance was put together with the 3% that the council had discussed earlier. It was across the board of 3%. We worked on the police department a little bit. I know, and the chief can speak to this if you have any questions, but he had in here major and lieutenant. And instead of having major, he was going to add sergeants. So he's taking that major's additional pay and just dividing that into 2 sergeants. So the pay doesn't change. It's just the structure of the ordinance changes and how it will be divvied up. And also we did include the funds to add the building inspector, code enforcement person as requested.
Is this that the one you just mentioned? The building inspector? That
Mhm.
salary is taken out of a different kitty, right? It's out of the enforcement? Or is there not?
It'll come out of general, but part of the funds that come in for building permits and stuff help offset some of that.
Okay.
Changes in rates, Joe, as far as wages?
3%.
This would be 11B, correct?
That is correct.
I don't have any questions.
Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Any public comment? Okay, can I get a motion, please?
This is first reading. I will make a motion to approve first reading ordinance 2022-11B, 2023 wage, position, and salary ordinance for the town of Fortville as presented.
Can I get a second? Libby? All right, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Oppose? Guys have it. Thank you.
That'll be on next agenda, Joe.
Yes.
Okay, council to consider lease purchase agreement for a new compact track loader and attachments. Joe?
Yeah, this is something that we've been looking at. It looks like everything on the agenda is for me this evening. This is a piece of equipment that we've been looking at for a couple of years now, and we've had the money in the budget. We just haven't got the opportunity to get it bid out. We did go out to bids or got quotes on it. We got, let's see, one was from Bobcat straight up, and that was $114,858. Now that comes with, it's a T66 Bobcat skid steer, and it's got I believe it's a 7-foot construction broom to be able to clean up the roads and construction sites when we're working on it. And then the asphalt planer to help us do patching on some of the roads and some of the areas that hold water where we can get that to drain and do a little bit better job of patching. Anyway, Bobcat price, $114,858.67. The Caterpillar that we looked at was very comparable, and as far as the equipment goes, it was $119,000. So then we shopped for the Sourcewell, which is purchasing through the state contract, state bid stuff. And actually the Caterpillar was a Sourcewell purchase price. We went back to Bobcat, and their total number with Sourcewell was $98,381.44. And we also asked for a lease purchase type agreement, and they gave us an option for the next, it was for 24 months, 36 months, 48 months, or 60 months. I ran this by our bookkeeper, Beth Marsh with Bookkeeper Plus. And we have been budgeting this money in our construction or our equipment budget for the last couple of years. We just not used it yet. The 48-month lease seemed like it was the better deal according to the way she was looking at it. And I think we had budgeted $20,000 a year for equipment. And that lease payment would only be $1,564.44. So then that leaves us funds for that final payoff at the end. So with that, just ask for your approval to go ahead and make that purchase. Or if you have questions.
I don't have any questions.
Would you, so she's saying we rather lease?
Yeah, $48, right, Joe?
48 months, yeah.
And we own it.
That works in our budget, the way we're budgeting the $20,000 a year to help.
The lease purchase, right? So then we own it after that. It doesn't-
We lease it for 4 years and then we buy it out at the end of the lease. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve Joe to proceed with the Bobcat product quote not to exceed 48-month lease purchase agreement as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Guys have it. Thank you. Okay, there is no old business. Department reports. Joe.
Hey, looks like I'm up.
You're the man.
Yeah. Okay, I've got a few things to go over with you. The Broadway project, as you are aware that they had delayed the letting of that project by 1 month. They had, I remember if it was air quality, some kind of a report that they didn't get turned in time, so they had to wait to get that done before they went out to bid. So the Broadway project will be bid or be let out to the public November 9th. And it will be let on the 7th. December 7th, that's when they'll take bids on that then. The alleys are done that you guys approved paving the first alley north of Michigan Street. So that whole alley is there, it's completed. In fact, if I could jump ahead, I know in the vouchers that the invoice for that didn't get put in. Missy was on vacation last week and they paved it, and we want to make sure that they get their funds and not sitting on that and have to pay penalties or anything on that. So the invoice was sent out to you earlier. So if you wouldn't mind approving that invoice along with the vouchers this evening, and then Missy can go ahead and pay that with
Who was it to,
a
Joe?
special run. I got that sitting right here in front of me. There it is. I'll use this one.
For how much?
It's a cap. It's asphalt paving and seal coating. The total price was $41,375.
Asphalt, what was the name of it?
Yeah.
Asphalt paving and seal coating. Caps is what the
Cap.
CAP, got it.
CAP is.
Probably the cost for all of them, you think individually is it pretty close to being the same for each one?
This was a little bit longer than the one going north. So hopefully the one to the north of that next year might be a little bit cheaper. But with the cost of material and everything, I wouldn't want to. I think that's a good budget number going forward. Because it was maybe 300 feet longer than one we done now, which wasn't a lot. So if you don't mind, I mean, if you want to go ahead and approve that, so it's in the minutes so that
Yeah,
she can go ahead
I
and
got it written
pay
down.
that one. All right,
We'll do it at the end.
all right. Alley's done. Ohio Street, part of our community crossing that $1 million that we got from the state for the community crossing, the road paving. They were awarded that contract. That's Howard Companies, used to be Effie Harding. It's getting a little bit late in the year, but they're going to go ahead and do Ohio Street from 67 to the town limits. They're going to start on that tomorrow, doing the milling and the patching. They're going to do some of the sidewalk work and ramps after Thanksgiving. So here within the next week or two, we're going to get out and get all those marked up real good so they can start replacing those and have those done before the end.
We're at Ohio Street.
The section that they're going to be doing this year is from Broadway all the way east, all the way up to the town limits. Out past Windstone. There's some pretty bad areas out there that eat up our patching budget every year.
Got it.
Leaf pickup. You guys have probably already seen the flyer that went out. Wednesday, November 9th, we're gonna start picking up leaves on the north side of the railroad track. And Thursday, November the 10th, south side of the railroad track. And then we'll be back out again in December, Wednesday, December 7th, north of the tracks. And December 8th will be on the south side of the tracks. Now, if we miss you, we'll be back. We'll pick them up. So if you don't happen to get them that day, just let us know and we'll take care of it. But we want to try to get them all as quickly as we can, get the dumpsters out of here and be done with the leaf pickup for the year. But I also would encourage people to leave them in place and mulch them and mow them. It's better for the ground, better for the soil. That's what I do with mine. We don't have to worry about putting them in a landfill somewhere. Park Creek subdivision, I don't want to steal Adam's thunder here. I don't know if it's on his list or not, but they did get their top coat put down Friday. I think it was, they got it finished up. It looks pretty nice. They did a good job on that. Town hall sign upgrade should be in your packet there. The sign out front, as you probably are aware, has not lit up for many years. It looks kind of run down. We had a company that did the sign on the front of this building give us a quote. We're going to paint that post, put new panels on it, replace all the lighting inside, LED lighting. And they give us a price on that for $7,300, $7,302 and 29 cents. I just wanted to run that by you, see if that was something that you guys wanted to do. I mean, it's kind of a shame to have the town hall looking a lot better than the sign being a little rough as it is. But
Ask him if it needs to.
they first proposed a lot more to the sign with rock and stone and all that stuff. But it's a non-conforming sign as it is right now. So we're just fixing what's there. If we start to do all the extra work to it, then we have to go through, some of the variances and stuff that may not, meet our new code or new standards.
It looks kind of, so we're gonna. Hate to put money into it.
Well, the thing is, with this particular sign, with the options that they gave us, we could actually do this as stage one. And then we could come back and add the masonry to the bottom and the filigree and the other stuff that they have proposed. It's up to you. $7,300 sound like a lot of money to me just to put panels on and lighting, but I can't imagine what the masonry and all that would have taken that sign up to.
We can always wait for additional quotes
Yep, I can definitely do that.
and just see what quotes for
Yeah.
some sort of masonry.
And I'll get with Adam too, and we'll sit down and chat about what we would need to bring it into compliance or to make it fit what needs to happen to make it work. We're just talking about cutting it down and lowering it and just changing it all together. Okay,
Nice lighted on the ground.
okay.
At least we know what our options are.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I'm totally okay with that as well. So, all right, we'll move forward with that. CSX Madison Street repair. It's my understanding, I wouldn't know anything about it. And again, if I didn't try to drive up through there and see it was closed, and Andy had mentioned that he saw it on, was it on Facebook or on the sign? That it was going to be about a week that they'll be down. So, okay. I did not see that. They didn't contact us, so we didn't know. Pat, did you hear about it? They'd let you know? Yeah. Yeah, it's the fire department as well, and they said they saw it on Facebook.
Strange they do that and don't have to. go to town.
I think that's horrible,
It is
especially if they
silly.
cut down the road, and it's dark over there. I don't know. People were turning around in the middle of the
Wonder if we
street.
should close it there at Mill Street so they don't get up there and then can't get out.
That would be the better option, at least give them an out instead of having to turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there really is nowhere. Well, they can turn around that driveway, but I'm sure they won't appreciate that. With the comment, it was on Facebook and some lady talked to detail about. how
Yeah.
it's called. Yeah, that, and
I saw
the
it.
whole thing was like on Facebook.
Yeah.
Do about
Yeah, we
I
can.
knew about it. I just think it's bad that they don't tell the town,
it. That's right.
so we can prepare.
Yeah.
Right. Another change I wanted to discuss with you all as far as the solar panels on the front of this building. Is scheduled to have, what is it, 2 panels out there about 3 feet by 7 feet, which don't know that it'll bring much. I don't know that it'll be as attractive. I think it'll kind of take away from it. We are putting the bigger solar panels on the back. So those 2 panels, we could just add to the panels, the sections we've got out there and just make that a little bit bigger. If you really got your heart on seeing it better out here over the front door, we can continue to do that, but I want to get your thoughts on that.
Matter where they are, where they're located.
They're actually more effective on the south side.
Yeah. So if you're okay with that, we'll move in that direction. Let's see, I got down here about the vouchers. You guys have already talked about that. Old equipment, I don't want to put Alex on the spot. I don't expect an answer this evening because as we're starting to move back into the building, we're finding we got a lot of stuff that we really don't need, don't really want to bring back in here. In fact, we got a new phone system, the old phones, it's all on our asset inventory. So in order to get rid of that, we have to declare that surplus, sell it. My question is, because we've got desks, we've got cabinets, file cabinets. I know Brian's got some equipment in the back that he wants to get rid of to create more storage space, more room back there. Is that something that we could put in an auction? And just hire like an auction to come in and take it all and do it that way?
There are different ways that you can do it. You're right, though, the process, we need to go about declaring it surplus. You don't need it anymore. Depending on how much the property is worth dictates what options you have for it. So I think you and I could just get together with the asset list and then narrow down what's the most efficient and best way to go about.
Yeah, and we'll have to bring that list to the council for them to approve and sign off on, but I guess my main question was, does an auction work?
Yes.
Okay, because I know we've done eBay before
Mhm.
and it wasn't really effective. I mean, it worked, but it was a real hassle. And as much stuff as we've got, I'm afraid we're gonna spend a lot of time trying to get bids and may not get any bids on some of the stuff. And I think it's just cleaner to put it in auction, maybe hire an auctioneer or an auction company, just come and get it, or we can deliver it and they can just give us the money that we get out of it and we can do it that way. So if that works, we'll plan on it going forward. Let's see, the only other thing that I think I've got here, I've got a lot of stuff going on here. Everybody done a great job putting this building together. I mean, the contractors did a great job. These guys working on the audio visual, everybody's really kind of busting butt trying to get everything going, to get this meeting going tonight. It looks great. We're excited about being in here. Got a lot more work to do. But the staff, I appreciate being in a small space in those trailers for as long as they have. And it was a little rough. It was touch and go for a while. So I'm glad we're out of there. We're into the bigger building, and even the street crew there, they weren't working out of those trailers, but they did a lot of moving stuff in and moving stuff out and helping us out with that. And we appreciate everybody's patience and everybody's hard work on that. That's all I've got.
Okay.
Is that enough?
You have any questions for Joe? Anybody? Okay. Adam, do you have anything for us? Any questions for Adam? Okay. Heath?
Keith Luther, Parks Manager for the record. I've got a few things. First and foremost, Councilman Holland was asking about the bridge the last time I was in, so a little update on that. Joe and I had a conversation with the Span the Gap Engineering about redoing the bridge down in Memorial Park, the existing bridge. And along with that, we had a conversation about the new bridge from Noel Lane to the park. We'll start with the existing bridge. After talking with them and the different options that could possibly be available for that existing structure, the money that it would require, I think the cheapest end on that was somewhere around $10,000 if they did it. If we want to put in some stuff that will last forever, it was more like $22,000 to redo the existing bridge. With that being said, this company was gracious enough to send me links for the products that they use that I can actually order. So after talking with Joe, I think I'm gonna get that stuff ordered when I'm back in the office on Wednesday. It will end up costing us around $4,500 in the decking. $3,800 in the wood for building new stairs on that as well. And then about just $200 in some miscellaneous to build new railings going up and down. So the total on that was 85, 35, 84 is about what it's going to cost us to get that existing bridge back up in working order with a little bit different type of wood that will hopefully, I'm being told, will last somewhere between 10 and 15 years as opposed to the 4.5 that it lasted this time. It's more of a treated rough cut lumber as opposed to just a rough cut lumber that we had out there. So now that the only other issue will be whether or not I can find enough of it in one shipment to be able to get it all done at once. I think it's 84 pieces that we would need. And so finding 84 pieces might be a little bit of a task, but where we're going to go with that existing bridge. The new bridge, we're kind of at not necessarily a hold. I have to have a conversation with the Hancock County flood engineer to kind of see what they would require us to be able to put that bridge in over from the well lane into the park. But with that being said, talking with the engineering company, they shouldn't expect too terribly much based on what their evaluation of the floodplain was right there. I believe they said they could have it somewhere between 25 and 40,000 is what we'd be looking at for possibly a new bridge over there through that company. Either way, we can't really get drawings or anything until we have a conversation with the engineer, but that's the next step in the process. So we'll start taking a look at that. And then obviously based on the price, we can have a conversation about budget. And I know what Ryan Holmes or Northwest Fortville, whomever the developer was, they had given us, like you had mentioned already, given us some cash. We might be able to cover that within that cash that they gave us. If not, we might have to look at subsidizing a little bit of that for that new bridge. The only thing that I would add to that is we would probably want to look at sooner than later, if we put a new bridge coming across right there, is having some kind of walkway from that bridge up to the road or towards the basketball court, and then doing a small one from the basketball court up to the road, just so, you know, it's just not grass and muddy and everything else. So that would be something we definitely want to look at. Any questions on the bridge?
Thanks for those updates.
Are you looking at handicap accessible options?
For the-
Especially the old one, it has stairs. Is there any way that we could have?
It's going to be tough because of where that floodplain is down there. And correct me if I'm wrong in this, Joe. Because it's grandfathered in, if we keep it the way that it was, we won't have to necessarily do anything different as far as the floodplain is concerned. If we change that, there's a solid chance that the ramps themselves would have to be designed in a way that would allow water to pass through and under that. And my concern is the grade on that ramp would have to come out so far, and we'd have to go up so much higher to be able to ramp that I don't know that that's necessarily possible over there for that. Obviously, anything the town does and we do as a parks department moving forward, we're absolutely looking into the ADA. I mean, it's all got to be ADA compliant and that kind of thing. That bridge is old enough at this point in time that it is technically grandfathered in. And while I think it's something that needs to happen, I'm just not sure from a cost standpoint if that's possible. I can have another conversation with the engineering company to see what that would look like. But I would venture to say that bridge, because of where it's in a little bit different style of floodplain according to the engineers and what the Noel Lane side is, because it sits down lower. And so that bridge would probably have to be elevated even more and that ramp extended out almost to the parking lot to be able to be ADA compliant. We could put a ramp in there, but it's not going to be ADA compliant because it's going to be like this.
Yeah, if I could, I know when that bridge was put in many years ago and at risk of getting this wrong, it was my recollection that an ADA wasn't required on this particular bridge because where it got you to was more of a rough setting. That once you got there, if you made it where you got on the bridge, you couldn't go anywhere anyway, because it was more of a rough terrain, climbing hills, roots and everything, and it wasn't a smooth path that you're introducing people to. And with that being said, now we do have access for ADA. If somebody wanted to, like a wheelchair or their scooter, that with a new asphalt trail coming around the back, they can get to the other side. So there is another way to get there, not necessarily using the bridge.
Any other questions as far as bridges? Painting. There was some graffiti that's been there a little while on the restrooms. Those have all been painted over. It doesn't look the greatest right now. Actually, I've got to get with Doug over here. I need to find the paint scheme for the shelter house. The plan is to paint all the existing structures in the park that color, but the graffiti is covered up. And now that the cameras are up and rolling over there, anything new that pops up, we'll be able to notice and hopefully be able to find the individuals that are doing that. So, Winterfest, just a couple details on Winterfest. The social media has been going really well. It's being pushed out in a lot of different places. Just so everybody's aware, we have the Where's a Sherman segment on Fox 59 will be coming on December 1st to do, I think, 3 segments in the morning of December 1st. And then that evening, they're doing a social media influencer preview. They've got some bigger name social media influencers from around the area that are going to be visiting Moondrops, Denver's, Time and Again, Libby's, and then it will finish with pictures with Santa in the alley. And so that'll be put out on social media by those influencers and will hopefully be get more traction into Winterfest. Speaking of Winterfest, and this kind of ties into the last thing I want to talk about, I'm looking for approval for alcohol like we always do for Summerfest and Winterfest down Main Street that day. So if the council would be so kind as to have that conversation and approve for that day alcohol down Main Street. I believe at this point in time, it's only Moondrops, Taxman, and everyone else is going to be planning on selling out of their building, but Moondrops will be over there serving. So I'm looking for approval for that, which would then tie into the email that I sent earlier today. If you had a chance to read it, it's a conversation that I think is worth having regarding the ordinance as far as alcohol in the parks. I just want to make it clear that I'm not, nor do I think we should just open it up. Because I think there's a place for having, no alcohol, no smoke, all that stuff within the parks. But I do think one of the things through the facility rentals that comes up a lot is that kind of question. And it would be something that I would like the council to consider, being able to allow renters to be able to, have beer and wine at a family function. The reality of the situation is it happens anyways. But there are some people that are trying to go through the right channels and they ask. So, and this wouldn't be, I say we've had people ask. I mean, it doesn't, we're not talking about people having parties in the community center or parties in, the shelter house where people are getting crazy. It should, family gatherings where somebody, brings a bottle of wine or baby showers, that type of thing. A lot of baby showers happen in there. And so as it's written right now, we would have to come for approval at any point in time for the facility rentals, just like we do for Summerfest, Winterfest, Pints in the Park. So I'm looking to be able to allow those people that privilege. And obviously if things go sideways, we could always readdress it. I don't ever suspect that would happen, but that would be something that we could definitely look into. And obviously on that email, there was another question that just came up recently about, the community center. So, I don't need, not looking for an answer tonight. It's something I'd like to, get with Alex and see if we can't figure out some kind of language and see if you guys would be okay with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any
Any
questions?
questions?
What is the liability issue with? I mean, does the liability then fall on the town?
That would be a good
With
question for Alex.
laws like that, or is that something that they would have to
We would,
address individually?
we would want to have the renters in this scenario indemnify the town and sign a waiver. That does not mean by any stretch, as you all know, that the town won't get sued if something happens.
Sure.
But we can try to paper it as best we can to provide some protection for the town.
And my suggestion would be in the actual renters agreement for those facilities is having that indemnification in there to be able to, they would have to sign off on. If that's something they're planning on doing.
Something other communities do.
It is. It is. Yeah, we don't have a lot of, we've had the community center used a few times for things like wedding receptions. But when people typically ask for that, most of the time they ask for, if alcohol is allowed, and currently it's not. So that does draw a lot of those individuals away. Good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, it's the way, it is right now. I do think that having that capability allows us to kind of open up maybe that rental pool a little bit more for a space as big as the gym. So. Any other questions?
I got one, alcohol on Main Street. I don't think you have to have any. For that. Bill Canauer, the last, he said you can have an open container. There's no law, just like Indianapolis, there's no law about open containers. So I'm not even sure that's even on the books.
There is no law on open containers, but with us allowing the festival to provide that and then walk down the streets, that we always make sure council is aware.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything on,
No, you're right.
there isn't, so.
Open
we don't have to
container
worry
deals
about
with
it.
being in a car.
Does that apply for selling it as well? Selling it as well? Is it,
Selling it all goes through excise.
okay.
That's
All
right.
those
Yeah.
vending units, things
Yeah,
like
they'll have
that.
They'll have to, they need to go to
Yeah,
excise
they'll
and
get
get
a
out of that.
festival permit like they always do. I just, again, try to keep everybody in the loop and make sure
Right.
it's aware and it's in the minutes to. let-
That came up when we were having the hot rods on Main, and some gentleman, well, hey, can I have a beer? And he said, just put in a Dixie cup or
Yeah.
something, just don't,
It's-
but there's no, yeah,
Always hanging everywhere.
Right.
So look up and do your thing.
Right. okay. All right, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Patrick, Bratton, Chief?
Good evening. Just to update, our body cams are in that you guys approved last time, so we're putting them online on Wednesday. We just have to wait. We had to wait for Nine Star to kind of get the link set up and then to build that in. So we should be good. I don't know if it's in these vouchers you're signing, but we get half of that back from the small rural tribal grants. So we should be getting some of that back. We are having our shop with public safety on December 10th. Applications will be open until December 1st. For any families that wish to provide us an application. We'll be shopping, doing our normal routine this year. We'll go from here to Mount Comfort McDonald's, where Moore Industries is the owner, Vanessa Moore. She gladly gives us all breakfast and feeds the kids, and we do Santa there, and then we'll be driving them from there to Walmart in Greenfield. In the past, we've always applied for their small grant. That's a $500 grant Walmart gives us pretty much every year, that they just take off the first $500 and they eat it. And that's theirs. I think Diane asked Joe to sign that for us to go ahead and get that moving on that. The PD's coming along. We're still waiting on a few things. Breathalyzer will be installed on Wednesday, so we'll be fully functional back to where we were, and able to use everything. And then radio, I'm getting with emergency radio services to get that installed. They're supposed to be, they've already run the conduit, the antenna's still up, all that type of stuff. So that's about the only other thing, but we get a lot better radio reception now without all the wires and junk in the ceilings. The guys can actually hear the radios and be able to talk out. So. Other than that, I think that's the only updates I had, unless you have questions.
Any questions?
Besides, right, me, I feel like 10 o'clock at night.
Alex?
I don't have anything for you unless you have questions for me.
Yeah, the one was redistricting. Since we're having so many more houses added. You see, we have Windstone is in one district with Flat Rock. And now we're doing adding houses south of us.
Right.
It's how do we go about redistricting and do a head count and make sure we're
Staying even.
yeah.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. The law requires districts be reasonably proportional in their population. And so it sounds like we're getting out of whack with some of the new developments. So we can start that process, look at it. We'd need to, Adam and I talk, or whoever would have those population counts in households and decide, do you want to stick with two? I think we're two districts right now.
Yeah, I think we still stay with two.
Stay with two,
I
or
know
do you
McCoy's
create a
was
third, or
No, I think we it would be easier just stay with the two right now. But I just did not know that. Did we got contact somebody from the county or?
no, we would do that here in the town.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we want to put somebody in charge of doing that? Somebody might know where the house. I don't know. Does anybody
Sounds like
wanna
an
take
Alex
that
and
on?
Alex and Adam project.
All right, I appreciate that.
Adam and I'll talk, and then next meeting, we can run through more specifically on the process and the timing and kind of what we're finding. And the
Okay.
council can discuss how you'd like it to look.
Yeah, because I think one more year the next election is more for municipalities and it'll.
Yeah.
Definitely need to be something done. And then did we ever decide if we can? What we want to do about that house over here? That we purchased off of 13 and.
To either, I thought we were gonna take bids on.
Yeah, when,
Yeah, Alex
did
and I
we
were
know
gonna
we
talk
started?
about it. We honestly, we've been so busy.
Okay,
haven't gotten
that's
to it.
right. I appreciate it. I didn't know if we could auction it off or what we had to do. Okay. All righty. Any other questions, anybody? Okay, thank you. Public comment. Come on up, sir. State your name.
Contract on the 7th, when's the start date?
The start date, that'll be determined by NDOT when they're gonna give them their notice to proceed and when they're gonna give them the start date. But it's my understanding they're gonna give them 30 months to complete.
30 months, no start date, yes.
No, not till that bid, it's gone out to bid. I think probably when it's awarded, it'll probably make a difference, whether winter coming up and everything, so. We'll let NDOT make that call.
For the record, that was Dave Beatson.
Didn't recognize him with that mustache.
Any other public comment? Come on up. Or state your name. What's your name? I know, but it's good for the record.
With the Old Bridge situation, is it still in with the insurance company in litigation?
That I do not know. What's the status on that, Adam? It's still same.
I haven't seen anything.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen any of them. That I do not know the next step. I was thinking it was on the homeowners. It's like the ball's in his.
The insurance company.
Pardon me?
It was turned into the insurance company and I don't know
So-
whether they'll.
There's no,
There was.
here's where we are. So Jake's attorney threatened to, said, town, do X, Y, and Z, or we're gonna file a lawsuit. Advice of town's attorney, town, you can't really do that. But we've got a threat of litigation. We notified the town's insurance company, but there's no lawsuit. There's no claim, right? A threat doesn't equal a claim. So if that's where Fritz is saying that the ball is in Jake's court, to either remedy the situation or if he files a lawsuit, we'll hand that over to the town's insurance company and go from there. But
So it's in limbo.
Yeah.
So the building structure, as it is right now, just could stay there forever, as long as he does not need to work on it, as long as the builder does not change.
no, I think it would not, my position would be, and Adam and I haven't talked about this, and Adam may disagree, but I would think that it's a non-compliant building as it is right now, non-compliant structure. They're trying to work towards getting rid of it. That's working through the process, but it's not an indefinite thing. And so if it just stayed there for a certain amount of time, the town certainly would have the ability to force action to be taken to either come into compliance or remove it.
Well, and but therein lies the question. And I understand a date, I don't mean that, but like, who's gonna make the next move? So I don't know the answer to that. Is it another month? Is it, we just don't want to let it sit as it is right now. We like to have some closeness to it.
Right.
Either the structure's allowed or. Yeah.
And how long can it sit like it is before the town does something about it?
Well, we'd have to vote on the council, right? Or is it just Adam's call to say you got 90 days to get it down?
It's an-
Make it.
It's an enforcement issue, so it would be a notice of enforcement and violation and finding what violation of the code, if any, exists. I suspect there would be
Yeah.
a couple, or at least one. And go through the, those paces. And then, as with any enforcement action, property owners have due process rights that they can appeal, Adam's decision and issue of notice of violation and take that up and go through that process. But that would be an enforcement action, not necessarily starting with the council.
I know that we were trying to get through it in good faith. Is it probably time to reach out and say, hey, where are you at on this? And we can get an update on our next meeting. Is that reasonable?
Yes.
One of you? Okay. Thank you.
All righty. Town council comments. Libby. Tanya. Maggie.
Nothing.
I only have a couple things. First off, I agree with all the comments that the new building looks great. I mean, I know it's still not completely finished, but I mean, it looks really great. And I would encourage anyone to come through and have someone take you through where you can. I mean, it's the public's building, so it looks really nice. And then I just wanted to say that I attended the Treats on Main and wow, that place was packed. And that was a great event. Excellent job by the organizers that put that together. We had excellent weather and there was a great turnout for it. So kudos to those folks. Good. Thank you.
And then Joe, I had a lot of comments, people thanking you for the alley. It looks really nice. Thank you.
You guys are saying. Pull the trigger.
Can I get a motion to approve and sign vouchers?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve and sign vouchers and to also include to approve the voucher from CAPS for the asphalt paving and seal coating in the amount of $41,375.
All in favor? Aye. Oppose? Ayes have it. Thank you.
I'll make a motion. We adjourn at 8:01.
All in favor? Aye. Oppose? The ayes have it. Thank you.
So the insurance company's not gonna do anything on that, they're gonna.
There's no claim.